Hello? Thanks for joining us again on the channel. This one's been on my radar for a while, and now, thanks to a friend who got his hands on it, I finally get to share the experience with you. Before we get started, feel free to check out the discount link in the description and the pinned comment. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer purchased this all-in-one printer with the reasonable expectation that a professional model would at least match the basic features of its decade-old predecessors. While it excels in some areas, our reviewer ultimately found it fell short in several ways that are critical for a functional office environment. On the positive side, the print quality is excellent. This client noted that both color and black and white documents come out looking super crisp with true-to-life colors, which is exactly what one would hope for from a quality laser machine. However, the machine's strength seemed to end with simple printing tasks. The frustrations began with its document handling capabilities. It is surprisingly unable to automatically scan two-sided documents. This requires a cumbersome multi-step process using separate PC software, not the printer's own interface. Even more disappointingly, it is completely impossible to make a two-sided copy from a two-sided original, a standard feature that was taken for granted on older models. Another significant drawback was the specialty paper tray, which only holds a single sheet of paper at a time. The reviewer discovered this limitation after the machine immediately jammed on a small stack, a detail not mentioned in any documentation. This means for any printing on cardstock or checks, someone has to stand by and feed it sheet by sheet. Furthermore, the toner consumption suggests this printer is best for light home use. Even the high-capacity cartridges lasted only a couple of months with medium use, a fraction of the lifespan of their previous workhorse. Adding to the list of quirks, a strange software bug often appears after a weekend of inactivity, causing the copy function to store the scan instead of printing it, which requires a full restart to fix. Ultimately, this client concluded that while the machine is great for basic printing, it fails to live up to its Pro designation for.
To get things started, let's hear from our first reviewer.
This reviewer found that getting this new printer set up was a significant challenge, echoing some common complaints. The device initially refused to connect to their wireless network through the standard automatic process. To get it online, our reviewer had to navigate the machine's small screen to find its MAC address, manually add that to their router's filter, and then use the IP address for a manual connection. They felt this process was unacceptably complicated for the average user. Similarly, the Scan to Network folder feature was a source of great frustration, with a constant error message and no helpful examples in the online documentation. While a workaround was found using the desktop software, it wasn't the seamless experience one would expect. Despite these software and setup headaches, the client notes that the hardware itself seems quite solid. Their motivation for choosing this laser printer was to escape the constant problems of inkjet models, such as messy cartridge refills and, most importantly, clogged print heads that required frequent and costly replacement. For someone who prints infrequently, this machine seemed like the perfect solution to that recurring issue. With more time, our reviewer managed to solve the network scanning issue, which required creating a specific shareable folder and using a particular Microsoft account login. They also discovered a useful quirk. After a power outage, the printer must be manually power cycled after the router and computer are fully booted, as it starts up too quickly to find the network otherwise. A major positive they highlighted is the ability to roll back the device's firmware, a feature that allows the use of more affordable third-party toner cartridges. Overall, they are very satisfied with the printer's performance now that it's running, but they caution that the initial setup is a confusing process let down by poor instructions.
Great! Now let's see what our next reviewer has to say about their experience.
This reviewer decided to invest in a laser printer to replace an aging inkjet model that was failing to produce accurate colors. It was definitely the most expensive printer this client has ever bought, but the hope was to get something reliable, of high quality and long-lasting. Thankfully, initial impressions have been very positive. Our reviewer was initially worried about the setup process, having read some concerning reviews suggesting it could be a complex and time-consuming ordeal. However, the reality was surprisingly smooth. Following the instructions to download the necessary software from a provided website proved straightforward, and the entire setup was completed within minutes without needing to directly connect the printer to any computers. This client recommends downloading both the mobile and desktop apps and registering on the associated website to fully manage the device's settings. Speaking of the mobile app, while initially skeptical, this reviewer found it surprisingly useful. It contains a range of features, including a selection of free printable items like calendars, coloring pages, and even craft projects. Mobile faxing and scanning capabilities are also included. While many of these features might not be used frequently, it's nice to have them available. In terms of print quality, the test prints performed so far have been excellent. The printing is clean, sharp, and of high quality. Printing directly from a mobile phone was also effortless. Sharing a photo and selecting the print option automatically defaulted to this printer, resulting in a quality print on regular paper in about 30 seconds. Scanning to email required a bit more effort. However, a helpful article guided this client through the process of adding email addresses in the HP Smart app and creating a dedicated Gmail account for outgoing emails with specific server and port settings. It also involved adjusting Google account settings to allow less secure apps. Double-sided printing, while not the default, was easily enabled through the HP Smart website. The touchscreen interface is intuitive, with helpful messages guiding the user through any required setup processes. Overall, after only a short period of use, this client is very happy with this printer.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.